On a cold, snowy morning, milk bottles sit on a doorstep, their silver foil tops glinting in the pale winter sunshine. A small blue-tit hops nearby, pecking gently at one of the tops. Suddenly, three schoolboys in old-fashioned uniforms appear around the corner. They spot the milk bottles and grin mischievously. The bird startles and flies away. The boys grab the bottles and laugh, delighted with their find. One opens a bottle and takes a swig. The others follow, drinking greedily. Their laughter grows louder as they pass the bottles between them. Then one boy gestures to another, suggesting they throw the milk at each other. They begin to toss a bottle back and forth, splashing milk everywhere, their mischief turning to recklessness. Just then an older man appears. He wears a tweed coat, carries a walking stick, and sports a balaclava hat pulled low over his brow. His expression is stern and disapproving. "Stop right there," he commands, his voice firm and authoritative. "What do you think you're doing?" The boys freeze, caught red-handed.
"We were just having a bit of fun, sir," one boy stammers nervously.
The old man shakes his head slowly. "Fun? You've stolen someone's property and now you're destroying it. I ought to call the police on the lot of you." The boys look frightened at the mention of the police. "But listen here," the man continues, leaning on his walking stick. "There's something more important than the written law that you ought to understand. There are cooperative laws, unwritten rules that hold society together." He pauses, letting his words sink in. If everyone went about taking other people's property or destroying other people's things, whether or not a policeman arrested them, that sort of behavior might certainly backfire if it became general. Do you understand? The boys nod slowly, shame washing over their faces as they begin to comprehend the weight of his words. The world works because most people respect what belongs to others. Think about that. The old man walks away, leaving the boys standing in the snow, surrounded by spilled milk, contemplating the lesson they've just learned. The boys stand in the snow, their expressions shifting from shame to confusion, still processing the old man's words. Just then, a woman hurries around the corner, moving quickly through the snowy street. She's not paying attention to where she's going. Suddenly, she collides directly into the old man, bumping into him with considerable force. Both stumble slightly.
"Oh, I'm terribly sorry," she exclaims, reaching out to steady him.
The old man regains his balance and looks up at her face. For a moment, there is silence. The woman's eyes widen in shock as recognition dawns on her face.
It's you," she says, her voice trembling with emotion. "I can't believe it. After all these years."
The old man's expression softens as he too recognizes her. "Yes," he says quietly, "it's been a very long time."
The woman's eyes fill with tears as memories flood back. "You were my stepfather during second marriage. I never thought I'd see you again."
The old man nods slowly, his stern demeanor melting away, replaced by something more tender and vulnerable. "I never forgot you," he says gently. The woman takes a shaky breath, her eyes glistening with tears.
"Mother passed away," she says quietly. "It was several years ago now. I wasn't sure if you'd been invited to the funeral. You two had lost touch by then, and I didn't have your contact information. But she was your wife once, and I thought you should know."
The old man's face falls, his expression filled with a mixture of sadness and regret. "I didn't know," he says softly. "I'm so sorry to hear that."
The woman nods, wiping away a tear. "I wish you could have said goodbye."
There is a moment of heavy silence between them, the weight of lost time and missed connections hanging in the cold air. Suddenly, the woman glances at her watch and her expression shifts to alarm.
"Oh no, I'm terribly sorry, but I have to go," she says urgently. I left my car parked over the time limit. I'm going to get a parking ticket if I don't hurry.
She looks torn between the desire to stay and talk with this man from her past and the pressing need to attend to her car.
It was wonderful to see you again, she says, squeezing his arm briefly. Perhaps we could exchange contact information. I'd like to stay in touch this time.
The old man nods, a bittersweet smile crossing his face. Yes, he says, I would like that very much.